August the 4th, 2019. It's a Sunday hangout. I'm Ben, and I have in the house tonight the one, the only, Caleb Rapoport, lead shredder for Nerd Halen.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, always a pleasure. You know that.
Yeah.
Been a few hangouts, and I love it every time. Let's see.
Yeah.
Who do we have in the chat? We'll do some roll call here. I saw Will was tearing up a storm in the chat here earlier, my opening act. We've got my lovely sister Amanda. We've got Terry's GG&G. We've got Krellbar. We've got them all talking to each other. We got Joe Hervey, Upside Down. Who else did I see in here? Wow, I am way back in the chat still. Okay, that's why. Denny Allen's here. We got Upside Down, Denny Allen. Brett McCord is here. Hot Face. Let's see, Daniel Horsley, James Wright, Peter Bialk. Sorry, Pete. What do the blue wrenches mean? They are moderators, good sir.
Yes.
Porters of the channel. There's Mr. Phil Mosley Music himself in here. He was on the other day. Cool hangout. Robert Metzenberg, who's basically local to me. Fruitcake Tony, what's up? Ivan Carter, one of my Patreons. Vintage Sounds, young Mr. Radford out of the Bay Area. Charles Green. Lawrence Petross, Sean Pierce Johnson, the mighty Captain Michael Smith, Guitar Man 45. Butt Cheeks is here as well. Yes. Love it.
Terrific.
It did skip ahead quite a bit. So if I missed you, there's Gary Tholander. I think I got everybody. Welcome one, welcome all. Good to see everyone. So, Mr. Caleb.
Yeah.
I think it was approximately 14 months or so ago. You had a little old channel. You know, I had a little old channel. We hung out one day around lunchtime, and you dropped this little idea on the world.
Yes. Yeah, that was, we could probably look that up and find that moment. Yeah, no, I kind of announced that I was going to do this project, this tribute with a twist band on Ben's little fledgling show. Probably had like 57 subscribers at that point.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And no, it's things have progressed for both of us, so pretty awesome.
Awesome indeed. Indeed. You got to meet up face to face, or as you said, in 3-dimension at Winter NAMM.
Yes.
And I can't wait to do that again coming in January. It was interesting and surreal doing Summer NAMM because half my friends weren't there, you know?
Yeah. No, I've never been to a Summer NAMM, but maybe next year.
It's pretty damn cool. You know, it is much smaller. You can see everything in about 3 hours. But
will it be in Nashville next year?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the spot. Okay.
But all the cool part of Nashville, like Broadway and stuff, it's all walking distance from the convention center.
No, I love that town. So
yeah,
I was hoping it wasn't just bouncing around. So
hey, Thomas Santiago in the house, Suave Trainwreck, Janice, good to see y'all. Jay Steen, yeah, awesome.
Hey, how many in the chat are local, like Los Angeles? Anybody can say that they're down in this area?
Yeah, good question.
I'm curious.
I know Sean Pierce Johnson's in Laguna Beach.
Okay.
So not too far, but then again, everything's far in California.
Yeah, Laguna Beach is far enough from the whiskey to be like, yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling it tonight. So
Pete's in Detroit. I know Phil Mosley's in the UK. Upside Down just says, God, I wish. Janice used to live in Santa Ana. Interesting.
Sean Pierce Johnson.
Still got family in the Valley.
Awesome.
Very cool. I've got family in the Valley, for God's sakes.
In just a little more than 24 hours, we're going to be rocking the Whiskey A Go-Go in West Hollywood, California.
Yes.
And it's exciting. So I am...
is that going to be shown anywhere on the Google here?
I'm sure there'll be clips of it to come. That's how I like usually to do it, so I can vet stuff I don't want to just do a cold, clean, you know, Facebook Live for the whole set. I think that's giving away too much. So,
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
but
Pete's asking me, do you honestly like that new slide you're going to give away? Yes, actually, I do. It has become my #1 slide, hands down. Enter the contest today. Win yourself a mag slide. Those things go for $40 US.
there you go.
And, I don't know if it's worth that much, but my God, it is a cool slide and it works great. So it's better than a $10 slide.
Yeah.
Danny Alexander in the house. Jasco Plumbing Supply, who was hanging out with Steve Vai last week.
Nice.
At the Vi Academy, yes. I think, didn't Nesdol sneak over there for a day?
That's what I saw. Yeah. He's got friends in high places. David
He
Nesdall
does. I got to meet one of those friends while in Nashville, Mr. Larry Mitchell.
That's the same person I was talking about. Yeah. That's who brought him in by Academy.
No, of course, he did happen to walk up to a guy approximately 6 feet tall, about as pale as I am, hair about as long as mine, wearing a ball cap, and he's like, "Hey, good to meet you." And he's like, "Cool, you're Larry Mitchell." He's like, "Yeah, I really enjoyed hanging out with you." And he's like, "When?" On your show that your sister helps out with.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "I have no idea who." Yeah, it wasn't me, but he thought it was me.
I got Fruitcake Tony says, "Hey Caleb, I'm a singer by trade, and I must say your singer has got some strong pipes." I concur tremendously. Yes, Hal Sparks. You all know him from his acting and stand-up comedy and hosting and whatnot. All his talent gigs that he does and has done over the years, but he can sing his butt off and always has like a sweet spot in his heart for that. I believe it's what he always wanted to be, was a rock star, like we all have that dream. But
right.
But he's got the goods. I mean, the guy's an amazing guitar player too, and I'm not even using him for that. But he can sing, and what's cool about our band is when the music is right on what it's supposed to be, then you can kind of play with the vocal. The vocal doesn't have to be spot on Dave or spot on Sammy, and that's hard to do anyway because those voices are so distinct, and there's not many people out there at all who can match the little tricks and things that both those singers do.
Right.
So I think Hal does and gets away with better than most. He just sings really well. So it's almost like having a really good singer come into Van Halen and just pumping up those vocals a little bit, especially on the Dave side.
Yeah. He can do those Dave screams and yet still sing clear as a bell. And usually that's a one or the other situation.
Yeah. So it's funny because in our first meeting, I was like, "Can you do the Dave scream?" And he goes, "Sure." And you could tell he was like, I've never done it, but I will,
Yeah.
But yeah, so it proofs right there in the pudding. So very happy with Hal and his pipes and what he's bringing. The band it scares me just to even think about the possibilities.
There is upside, and you don't want to all of a sudden become 17 again, right? And just like, oh my God, we could do this and this and this and this. It's just like, okay, one step at a time.
You'll always be that 17-year-old because especially when it's your main thing. I mean, everyone in this band has things they're doing and other things they're doing. But for me, I have my family and my kids, and then I'm doing this, and I have a couple of jobs that I do to pay bills. But this thing is my main baby right now, and I'm just trying to get it there so we can be a force to be reckoned with as far as hireable bands for fun.
Event.
Event.
Like you guys could very much do the corporate gig, no problem.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely a goal of ours. But I want to play for people that go crazy too. So because at the corporate gigs, there's not a lot of crazy fans.
Well, yeah,
crazy
that's
money,
true.
Crazy
Yeah.
money, but not crazy fans. So
Yeah,
you know,
which one allows you to do the other, and that's the nice thing, and not be pay to play essentially, where it's costing you more money to go out and gig than
come one or come all.
Yeah.
You know.
And howdy to Brian Stewart joined us, and Pete was asking, I believe, which red thing, Pete, on my left or right? He's asking. I just realized I have two red guitars behind me. I assume he's probably means this one back here, which is 86 Kramer Focus 6000.
Yep. Amazing.
Which I love. I was playing it today.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Yeah. I got this off some nerd one day, you know.
Representing.
Yeah. I think I've been fortunate. I think I was the first guy ever to rock one of these on a stage.
Might have been. Yeah, you were one of the first people to have one for sure.
And I remember giving out your picks left, right, and center even last year. You know, people like, what's a Nerd Halen? It's like, check it out.
Yeah, you could spot me every week or so at the post office with a few envelopes, and it's just like, oh God, you know. But it's cool that people want, you know, my stuff. That's really.
Well, I think the coolest had to be when I got that guitar from my sister, and it was the price and a Nerd Halen pick.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, that's really cool because I didn't offer it. He asked. And I was like, okay, cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see, like, you know, the demographic. You put up a video, right? And if you could see detailed demographics of where the pockets are, and it's going to be a bunch of Cali. We know you have a following in the New York area, and then it'll be like Southern Ontario.
I so want to get, you know, to be able to play near you guys, so we could all hang out and just it'd be perfect, you know, just to actually bring Nerd Halen to places that these people on the internet that I all met through this show, through Johnny Beane's show, and through everything, that I could actually meet you guys through coming to see this band, and that would be, you know.
Yep. Pretty damn cool.
I'm doing it, you know. I'm doing it because I like to play, and I like to play this music, and everyone knows that, you know, that I grew up playing this music, and I've never really found an outlet for it, and it's because of all these crazy Eddie heads that I've met in the last couple of years on the internet that kind of gives me the gumption to go for it, and you know, I'm so grateful for the good things that can happen on the internet, not the other. But
that's true.
But this whole Nerd Halen thing is because of the internet, and because of all the very cool people I've met from, you know, just being a fan of this music, and you know, of Eddie and all the things that are involved. So
I agree. We can a lot of us can thank Johnny Beane for that.
Yeah.
Roll around the dial on YouTube one night and come across this guy talking about Eddie, and then next thing I know, you know me, I was just happy playing my tellies and the occasional Les Paul. Next thing I know, I'm like, I got to get a Kramer. You know, and it rekindled my love of that style of music.
Yeah.
Rock with flash.
It's fun.
It is fun.
You know?
Look at the amount of times Eddie's smiling in every damn video you ever see, on stage or in a music video. It is fun.
Yeah, you know, I know why he's smiling. When you're like strapped into that machine of, you know, being the guitar player for Van Halen, there's a feeling you're getting from those amps, from that from the rhythm section. It's like flying a jet plane. It's it feels amazing for me every time we get full volume with this band. It feels like there's a feeling that I can't explain, and that's why people do this sort of thing. It's like when you play golf and you're terrible, but you hit one good shot.
Yeah, that's like that brief,
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a verse or even a turnaround, when it's just perfect as a live band, where a 4-piece band feels like 10-piece. And it's just so tight, firing on all cylinders. You get goosebumps.
Yeah. No, it's great. So The only thing I wish is obviously we were moving faster, at rising faster, but everything takes time, and we're moving at the pace we're supposed to, I guess. And I'm just hoping that more people get to see us, and more people want to see us, and we can tag along with some bigger acts,
Yep.
and really start moving, because this is what I want to do. I always wanted to play guitar for a living. I mean, that sounds so crazy to ever even imagine,
Mm-hmm.
after not being able to do that for decades, but there's like still maybe a possibility here. So,
Yep. Well, fortunately, our generation is the ones with the liquid income now, so it's like we'll go out, we'll sit down, we'll go watch you guys play, and it's both a throwback and contemporary, and why not? And go for it, right? You got, like you say, you got the right people. There is chemistry there, so let's see how far you can run with it.
For sure.
Hello to What's Up, Doc? Good to see you. And Tom is here. Tom Harhai. Good to see you, sir. Says he was late. He was making dark chocolate candy bars. Ooh.
Well, where's mine?
Exactly. Guitar Man 45 is asking where you're playing tomorrow night at the Whiskey A Go Go.
Yes.
On at 8 p.m. Pacific.
We're up early. It's Monday nights for the last few months has been 80s sunset 80s night, and so there's two very busy, well accomplished 80s bands for Southern California. One's called Fast Times, like the movie, and the other one is Rubik's Cube LA, because I believe that Rubik's Cube started in New York, and they're funny as hell and awesome. Their singers both run off stage and get dressed up like the next character of song that they're playing. So
cool.
like Ozzy will come on, and then he'll go off, and then Tony Basil will come on and do that song, and it just keeps coming, and they keep coming as different people. It's hilarious. Anyway, so these two bands play, and then they have an opening slot that they've been putting like tribute bands in, and our number got called, and we'll open the night tomorrow night, and hopefully, make it count. So
make it so the next act's like, I don't want to follow that. I don't want to follow that.
You always want to say that, but you never want to say it out loud.
Yeah.
But you definitely want people.
I know I've joked about that, the guitar player coming off stage while you're going on. I'm like, seriously, dude? You couldn't leave something on the table for me? Just a little scrap? Yeah. Usually you have a good chuckle about it.
Yeah.
Crowbar says it's only 3,000 miles away for him because he's in Rhode Island. So.
Oh, man.
Break a leg, not a G string. Well,
Okay. Maybe both.
Yeah.
There's time.
Yes. Yeah, actually, you've played the whiskey a fair amount in the last year or so. Last I recall, your last time probably there's doing a Canadian-esque gig.
Well, every Tuesday night at the Whiskey, they have a thing called Ultimate Jam Night, and it's actually something I was told a while ago when I was actually trying to get just into this scene here in LA. Was you better go hang out at the jams and try to get in on that, because it is like who and that, like in anything.
Sure.
You can't walk in and put your name on the list, for the jams. It's usually pre-worked out, everyone who's playing, so everyone knows what they're doing. It's very, it's very strict in that form. But what's cool about it is no one plays together until they get up on stage. So there's that energy. It's exciting. You don't know.
Sure.
But so that thing happens every Tuesday night, and then so they have different themes every week. And the one that I just did recently was the Canadian Rocks night, or Canada Rocks, and it was just all these Canadian artists that of songs of Canadian artists that everyone played on, and I played on Cuts Like a Knife and Working for the Weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's a couple of great tracks.
fun song.
Yep.
And yeah.
And just to tie it all together, see, you do a cover of a Loverboy tune, and my cousin actually went on tour opening for Loverboy in the early 80s. Probably when they were gigging that song.
That was their biggest song. That's their biggest song, I think.
Yep. Yeah, that song took them out of the clubs and put them in the arenas, basically.
Yeah. A lot of bands made it to the arenas back then. So.
Yep. Oh, more people just went out in general, right? That was the thing. Not all sitting here looking at computers. But don't go out, folks, until after we're done.
Yeah. No. Definitely a different time.
Yep. I've seen the difference in the bars. Geez, from the time of hanging out in them to them playing in them, and it's a fraction of the crowd, even on a Friday night.
Yeah.
But
too many options.
Yep, exactly. Oh dear Lord, Quentin James is here. Working for the weekend is a great riff. Yes, it is. And hello, SDMF.
Tom Harhigh, is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah, Nuno does play at the there's still something over at the bowling alley where the original Ultimate Jam started, or they used to be there. They moved to the Whiskey, I think, a couple years ago, but before that they were at the I forget what the bowling alley is called, but they still do a jam there, and Nuno does show up from time to time there. So.
And some people show up at the Ultimate Jam Night now from time to time, I've seen.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a good group of musicians and cats from this area, and everyone's really super cool. I remember I was very nervous to get into that whole thing. I kind of, they want to, when they announce you, they want to be able to say who you play with. So I remember when I first was trying to get in there, I didn't have anybody I played with. I had this idea I was going to do Nerd Halen, but we didn't have anybody. It was nothing. It was in my head. And so when I got the co-host of it to be the first drummer for Nerd Halen, he kind of pushed me along the way to getting it, on one song, which was a Dancing in the Streets, so the Van Halen cover, because they were doing all songs with the word dance in it. So I did that one. That went really well. That was my introduction to Ultimate Jam Night at the Whiskey, and I've probably done like 5 since. So, and that was almost a year ago. So
nice.
And the band, the bass player that I have now, Victor Broden, I met him at the Ultimate Jam Night, so that got me him. Hal Sparks is part of the Ultimate Jam Night too, and I kind of indirectly was able to talk to him through that. So,
right,
Jam Night, and the drummer that we have is someone who was at Ultimate Jam Night recommended. So that's how much of a an impact that just hanging out at the Ultimate Jam Night basically for the last year has had on my.
Oh, I remember a few times, like, you and I be talking, and you're like, I'm heading down to the jam. And it's like, oh, well, let me know. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, this person's this person. I'm like, yeah, you're not even going to get close to that person. But, yeah, like, just, like you say, just talk, shoot the breeze, get your face out there, get your name out there.
Yeah, no,
And hello to all joining in. I see we got a bunch of people joining in. David Ennis, Marsman, Loogie Flux. Wow. We got 64 people watching.
Where is Hal? I don't know, but I'll know in 2.5 hours because I'm going to be rehearsing with them. So
nice. Much better to rehearse the night before than the day of. When you guys were streaming your rehearsal there before, I was like, "You're nuts." I remember you were texting, "You're nuts."
Well, I'll be on record. I wasn't a big fan of that idea, but it wasn't my house and my area, so I couldn't say anything. But yeah, I'd rather not stream our practices. If I'm not going to stream the gig, I'm definitely not into streaming the practices. So
right.
But yeah, what's funny about this band is that we basically have played together, that many times.
Yeah.
Like literally, that many times we've actually sat in a room with our gear and played together, the four of us, and three of them or two of them are official gigs, like full gigs.
Right.
And then a couple of other times we dropped in on the jam or this other place at Petey's in the Valley. And yeah, everyone's so busy. So I can only imagine if we were to get together for a week of rehearsals, like, and we were up to go out on something, that would be insane, because the band,
you'd have everything done in a day and a half.
The band sounds so good.
Yeah.
Even at this point.
Yeah, you don't want to overthink it either, right? So
I don't know
we
why.
have another question here for you, and I can do this cool thing.
Yeah.
Boom. My sister asked, Caleb, have any pre-show rituals?
Oh, man. I do like to play in the hour or so before I get up. I just like to have the guitar on and just noodle around, probably unplugged even, just to play. And I like to hydrate pretty well. And I do concentrate on my breathing. I think it's very important to get the right amount of oxygen, because when you get out on stage, the first thing you realize is, wow, there's not a lot of oxygen out here.
Yeah.
Because the lights and whatnot burn all that shit up.
And if they have any dry ice effect,
it's just not a good place to try and get the air you need. So you want to be kind of, good and steady before you get up there. That's why especially, bands that don't have crew and stuff, they do that like 10 minutes scurry to load their stuff onto the stage and get ready. And then they get up and then they pick up their guitar and then they have to get into their first song. You can notice like 30 seconds in the first song when someone who's just busted their ass for the last 15 minutes getting everything right to actually start a song and then realize 30 seconds in, like, wait a minute, I don't have what it takes to get through this, or, this isn't, that's when
it looks like the captain's got to run. He's a bit under the weather. Feel better, Michael. Talk soon, my friend.
Feel better.
And Loogie Flux. Boom. Caleb, I need a Nerd Halen hoodie. Do you have any yet?
There are hoodies available. We have an online store, so it's like a third party makes our gear. What you can do is you can go. There's a button on the Facebook Nerd Halen page. It says Shop Now, and you can hit that button. It'll take you to the Teespring site that has all of our different styles of stuff. Just keep cycling. You can keep looking through. There's a bunch of different types of shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and tank tops and kids stuff. I mean, there's a bunch of different things you can get. So you just make sure, like, you look in the ones with the dark logo or the light logo, because there's different colors for everything. So
there we are.
But yeah, you can order that right now, basically, in whatever color you want. Just go to
check that out.
Nerd Halen.
Let's see here. Boom. I'm loving throwing the questions up on the screen here. Hi. Caleb Rapoport, are you super tall? That EVH 5150 guitar looks tiny on you on your Ain't Talking video on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm rather tall. I'm just under 6'4", with the hair probably getting over 6'4". Yeah, I'm not challenged northward. So yeah, it looks a bit awkward with the guitars, especially my Wolfgang is a smaller guitar. So
I was gonna say they feel small on me.
Yeah, it'll be good to use that for little guitars. So
exactly. Jasco Plumbing Supply says the combustible lemon pedal is amazing. That's a new pedal out by Lawrence Petross design. Basically, Jimmy Page's early Zeppelin tone when he was playing the telly into the Vox. Very cool stuff. Sully Dude says Nerd Halen tights and thongs.
Not yet. I mean, we're hoping that we get some donated. Would be great. Just kidding. Yeah, those nerd glasses. It was funny is I bought like 20 nerd glasses, all different colors on Amazon for nothing, and I put tape on them, and then I put the little NH and that wrote right here,
Right.
and so tomorrow night when we start, we're like the breakdown in the first song. We're just gonna have Hal offer those glasses out to people who come and sort of get around the front of the stage.
Nice.
Which will be a good idea because there's only 20 of them, so hopefully we'll get them all passed out right away, and then maybe we'll take like a selfie with everyone with their glasses on. That'll be a
great idea. SDMFS, hey Ben, what do you think about Japanese Jacksons compared to Indonesian ESP LTDs?
Right.
I'd say in general, Japanese stuff is generally better than Indonesian stuff in build quality.
Yeah. You're going to probably find higher price points too, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah. Yeah, I see he asked you the same thing, and yep. Let's see here. Lawrence Petross is talking to Quentin James. That can't be any good. There's Mark Dillon tuning in from The Rock. Good to see you, sir. All right, and I am caught up again. And thank you for the update, Terry. We got 56 people watching, 31 thumbs ups.
Yes.
Nice. Very nice. Crowbar has a Korean LTD. That is the Balls. An Indonesian cheapie that's pretty damn good as well. Well, there we are.
Yeah, I did a Japanese Wolfgang, and the neck was just perfect. So I'm actually using that on a new build I'm doing, which people are starting just to get a little taste of because I don't know. Do you guys know Mr. Craig Stoffco out there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he
does customs.
This little custom company he does where he paints and does finishes, and he did a chalk finish on the Bumblebee that I just finished, the black and yellow striped guitar that
I was going to ask, are you taking that out tomorrow night?
That'll get a few spins, yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love that guitar.
Yeah, and so he did this great chalk finish on that, and now he has a neck and a body that I found that he is doing we're calling it the Space Wolf.
Oh, interesting.
Hashtag Space Wolf. So
thanks, Mayhem. He says the video looks amazing tonight. Yes, I'm running at 780p, which helps with the limited bandwidth, so I'm not all choppy and pixelated when I use my own internet. Yay! Finally, after a year and a half, I can do Sunday shows with some clarity. Well, at least physical clarity. Mental clarity, never. But Layla's Guitar Daddy's asking if I'm gigging. No, I stopped gigging when my last band broke up, and I've been too busy this summer to put anything together, so I'm taking a bit of a break from the gigging thing. But I can't rule it out. I do miss it on days. I don't miss load in and load out, but I do miss gigging. And Quentin was asking what your live rig is, Caleb.
Okay. Well, the amp I'm using is the EVH 5153 EL34 edition, 50 watt. So it's like a little head and a 212. And but I'm doing an interesting thing. I think a bunch of people know out there that I had this guy named Burke Hun in Virginia. He made me something called a Honey-Ack. We named it the Honey-Ack because it's basically like a Variac drop box, and it drops the signal from the wall 10 volts or 5 volts each time. So I can go from 90 to 95 to 100 and 105 and 110. So I have these 4 settings that I use. I usually keep it on 90. And what it does is it tricks my very loud, powerful amp into thinking it's running at a very very loud volume when it's not. And that means that the tubes run hotter into the amp and create a much more soupier, gooier sound that you're hearing in those first early Van Halen records, because that's what he used, was a variac to change the voltage on his amp and trick it into performing better at a lower volume. And that's the rig. Then I have all these effects that I use. Pretty standard would be I go from the guitar into a boost. I'm doing the boost right first now. I lost my wah-wah pedal because I never use it, and it's so big and heavy.
Yeah.
And I finally quit my wah, and that'll be strange, but I really never use it. And so I go boost, and then I have a like a 5-piece channel bypass unit thing that I plug all my effects in, and I start with the flanger, the phaser, the chorus, the octave pedal, and then I run out of that into a buffer, and then that goes into the front of the amp, and then through the back I have the loop that goes through a reverb pedal, a Digitech reverb pedal that I have on all the time, usually just at a slight little reverb.
Sure.
Nothing crazy. And then I have my it's an MXR delay pedal, and it's
Carbon copy.
the other one that comes in a preamp too.
Oh, the Echoplex.
The Echoplex. I have that.
Nice.
And I set that to a certain setting that I use on a bunch of different things, and then I have the most expensive pedal in my board is the Eventide H9, and I use that. It has several things you can do, but unfortunately with these pedals you can only do one thing at a time. And even though they have the technology to use multiples together, because they do hint at it on a few things, they don't do it because they want you to spend and get more H9 pedals. And anyway, I use it for just this slight little harmonizing effect that Eddie has on, especially on 5150 and the OU812 records. You can hear it sounds like he's doubling his guitars, and there's a lot of chorus, and it's a weird effect, and I call it my word for it is twaze. Like there's a little twazy sound in his sound, and
right.
And that's what I use the H9 pedal for. That gives me that little bit of that little sprinkling he does on his sound. So that's pretty much the rig. That's what I'm running.
And Caleb or Quentin just had a follow-up. Do you use wireless?
Yes. I have the X5 thing. What is that one?
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I haven't had any major problems with it. I'd rather be untethered just because of,
Hey, Romeo Delight. Good to see you.
For sound check. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's what I used to love about wireless, because I could walk 20 feet in front of the stage and hear the band mix.
Stand by the sound man and hear what he's hearing. So, but yeah.
Very cool. Some definitely cool stuff. Yes. And you are one of the few players that I give complete forgiveness for running modulation in front of dirt, because you're doing Eddie stuff, and that's what Eddie did, even though it just grinds my gears. I always like my modulation post dirt because it's just more. It's more encompassing. But then again, I'm doing more of a Pink Floyd thing than Van Halen thing.
Well, I mean, I guess I could try. What you're saying, the phaser and the flanger, the phaser, and the chorus back.
Yeah, I put all that stuff after my dirt.
Yeah,
but it won't do the right sound for you. It'll be too much chorus, too much phaser.
Yeah, I still haven't found the secret to the chain, folks out there. If you have any ideas or things that work perfectly, I'm all ears. I think it's all.
Yeah, I think you've got it set up right because Eddie's always said he always added effects like delays and reverbs after recording. So definitely you got to have those in the loop. And then we know live he was running everything into the front of his amps. So
yeah.
Fortunately, when you're trying to replicate a sound that existed prior to effects loops.
Yeah. Anyway, the
Jay Steen likes his Univibe before overdrive, though. Yeah, a lot of guys do the vibes before overdrive. I have done that before and after.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about switching it. There's room.
So. And actually, did you not just post recently a picture of your pedal board on Instagram?
Yes.
Thought so.
Yes, you can go to my Instagram and see what I'm playing through exactly on the floor. So
I think I saw somebody was asking how long my hair is. There you go, folks. That long.
it is. Right down to the mid logo position.
Yep.
On the
mid logo. Yeah. Almost due to get a trim because yes, it does get caught in the guitar strings when playing. Especially seated. So any other questions out there, folks? Ask away. Oh, there we go. As soon as I say it.
Question for Caleb.
Boom.
What Van Halen song am I trying to learn?
That's a good question.
That's a good question because everything I know now, there's nothing that I'm trying to learn for anything coming up.
Yeah, the famous line, I know what I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's definitely songs that I don't know that I want to know because I want to play them or at least have them at the ready.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say like a big one would have been Dancing in the Streets, but you already have done that one, and that's a difficult one.
Yeah. Right? Well, it's actually, the riff is hard because you're using a delay. But the solo's, definitely a challenge. But one of his best, I think. It's one of my favorite solos is from that cheesy song. It's amazing.
Yeah, I remember that was one of the first things we bonded over. That's a guilty pleasure for both of us, that song.
Caleb, has Nerd Halen ever thought of adopting stage names? Well, we're kind of messing with that. We kind of thought of maybe like we should do like whatever happened to Waldo, like Waldo like started a band. So we thought like, well, Hal's character would be David Lee Waldo or Waldo Lee Roth or something. So we have thrown around names. He's referred to me and the drummer as the Nerd Halen brothers, and I think our bass player he called Michael Anthony Wolfgang Van Halen. Like it was all the names of all together. So it's, there's definitely room in that bit. There's so many. That's the thing we're finding is that there's so much room for bits and things to make it funny, but we really we have to fit a bunch of music into a certain amount of time. So
right. So
the challenge is there, but I'm always for like quick laugh, then a song, quick laugh, then a song.
Yeah, like that quick laugh while you're double checking your tuning or swapping a guitar or something like that.
Exactly.
Let's see. Todd Flowers. Cousin Todd says, ask Caleb if he's ever tried a Jacques Bête Noire pedal. It does Eddie sound by itself.
No. Someone please link me.
I've got a couple of pedals myself that do Eddie really well, and those are built by Mr. Lawrence Petross in the chat. He does the LPD 74, which is basically a 74 Marshall.
Yeah.
It really gets in that early Eddie, or you get his 87, which on the green channel is still early Eddie. Flip it over to the red channel, and it's like a modded JCM, so you do get that more saturated tone.
Yeah. personally, the best sound in a pedal that I've gotten or played through, and I've actually thought of like this is what I'll use if I have to fly somewhere and I can't bring my rig.
Right.
I can just do this into a dry amp, and that Friedman OD, what is it, ODBE one, that pretty much had it down for me.
Right.
I was like, okay, next, as far as let's move on to other pedals that aren't distortion, because that thing had everything. And,
right.
You know.
See, SDMF headed out. Thank you on the Kramer as well. And Todd Flores, check out Matt Flow HD1. That's his Instagram account. And apparently, I think he has that pedal up on there. So
okay, thanks, Todd.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, Todd's got some cool, different cool pedals. I will say that. He and I talk pedals every once in a while. Awesome. I think, okay, it looks like we got caught up on the chat. Oh, what brand of strings do you use and what gauge? Robert Metzenberg asks.
Oh, okay. I've been using the same strings for 30 years, and I don't know if it's just because I'm lazy or I just haven't found something that I could honestly say I like better. But I've used Super Slinkies forever, and I don't use anything else. Pink package, gauge 9, 42 in the bass. I think I tried the hybrid ones in the orange pack for a little bit, but I didn't notice that much, of a difference. So I just stuck with the pink pack, and that's the only strings that I use.
Nice. Will Varela asks, how long have you been playing guitar, and what was your first guitar?
I've been playing guitar since when I was 12 and a half. I got into wanting to play a musical instrument in a rock band. I don't know if it was guitar, drums, or bass. I think it was drums was the first thing I wanted to play, but my parents said, we'll get you a guitar.
Yeah.
Usually the case in like 90% of the situations. So, and they got me this acoustic guitar, really nice Yamaha, brand new acoustic guitar from Valley Arts Guitar. We had a good friend of ours was the manager of the drum shop, and so he got us this deal on this beautiful guitar. And I still remember the way it smelled in the case, and when we opened it up, and I played it, for a few months, 3 or 4 months, and I had gotten some lessons at the music store in town, and but I wasn't playing enough, and my parents would say, "Why don't you go down and play? Go down to your room and play a little." And I just remember hearing that, and I'm like, "Well, that doesn't sound fun,"
Yeah.
to be told to go play, and it had a lot to do with what I was hearing, and what I was hearing was just an acoustic guitar, and let's face it, like they always say, you got to start on an acoustic, but
which I never understood because they're harder to play than an electric,
and you can hear what you want to hear a lot sooner if you pick up an electric guitar.
Exactly.
You can hear it almost right away if you just you can hold an A chord and just strum it, let it ring out. Then you're on your way. So the acoustic thing pretty much died for me. And then if you've watched any of the interviews I've done before, so that was when I was 12, and then when I turned 13, I was not playing guitar at all, and I'd just seen the Who live, and I definitely wanted to play guitar again, but I wanted to play electric. So I was getting into different players and finding out who guys were and stuff, and then I happened to meet Eddie Van Halen and actually spend time with him for like 3 hours at a sound stage where they were shooting his wife's show, and we were at in the green room area, and I was this kid, this 13-year-old kid, and I just was hanging out with the Van Halen brothers. It was a crazy thing that happened, but it obviously changed my life forever, because I went home from that trying to find out what made Eddie Van Halen so special, because I'd met the person, and he was actually just very, very sweet to me. And you could tell that he kind of knew the effect he was having on especially kids.
Right.
He wanted to make really good impacts on children and younger people, because I think he understood the power that he had when it came.
Right. Well, and he was still young himself, and I think he was really enjoying the ride. And
yeah. So that's when I went home from that, and I had an electric guitar within a few weeks, and that was an Aria Pro 2. It was a double Z, so it looked like the Explorer. I don't know if you remember those. It was black to blue sunburst.
Oh, nice.
And it was, had gold hardware. It was just very, very audacious guitar for me, who
Right.
didn't play and was just starting. So usually when you're starting, you want to start on a guitar that's kind of unassuming, and I picked this like spaceship looking guitar, and ended up putting like a Kaler on there because it wasn't routed for a Floyd, and had it for a few years before I moved to. I got a Kramer, was my second one, Kramer USA.
Nice.
86, I think I got my second guitar. So
and then welcome to David Grindle. I think I've seen the name in here before. Good to see you, sir. Welcome.
So that's how that happened. Yeah, the Aria Pro 2 Double Z. They're still out there. Like I think if I had just unlimited dough, I would definitely get one just to put it up on the wall, because it's nice to see your original guitar.
Sure.
Where because I was seriously inspired from the meeting with Van Halen, and
right.
Those first.
Now, was that at the time when Eddie was pretty much wearing his stage wear 24/7?
No, I mean I think he had like a cut off gym sweatshirt, on jeans. He looked like all the backstage pictures from Diver Down. That's
right.
That's because that was the time. It was May or March of 1983.
Okay.
It was right before the US Festival, and
yeah, because about 2 years earlier, if you ran into me, it was probably would have been wearing the overalls, even walking down the street.
Yeah. No, but like both him and Alex, because Alex was there too. They were just the coolest people ever, and I just wanted to know what made them that cool. And that's when I heard the music and heard the guitars and realized that he was doing something pretty special, and that I wanted to do it too, basically. So the next, 5, 6, 7 years, I'm in my room for 8 hours a day, and that's what happens. That's how, people get to where they get when they're playing.
Right. Hey, Ron Limber and 6-string Brian just coming in at the end here. Yeah, that's true. It was funny. Absolute Mayhem in the chat here. He was over the other night, and I was noodling around, and he's like, dude, your shred game is on point. I'm like, well, I've never been told that in my life ever, but I was just like, dude, I'm shooting videos every day. I'm figuring out music to play on videos. I'm full-time YouTuber. I have nothing to do but play 2 hours a day at least. So just keep my hands in shape, just in case I get that phone call as well. You never know. Hey, we need you to fill in tonight. Okay, what are we playing? What are we doing? Let's see here. Lawrence Petross is grabbing a snifter of scotch. Might help him type better. You never know. And Brian from Oregon, good to see you. The Matsumoku factory in Japan made some great guitars back in the day. Arias were one of the many brands. Yes. Right. I'm not reversed done anymore on camera. I'm so used to being reversed like in Hangouts. My Kramer was built in that factory as well. And I believe ESPs were done in that factory.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was a good guitar. It was so far away from anything Eddie was playing at the time that I think that bothered me almost from day one.
Right.
So I was always thinking about what the next one was, but because I put up such a stink to get that one, I think I've told the story before where I went to the dinner table for like a month, with an ad for this guitar from the ripped out of the magazine. I would put it right next to my plate at dinner. You know, have this ad for a guitar, like who's basically just saying, "Hi, I'm here to eat food and bug you about what I want," and you know, pretty funny.
Will Varela says, "I'm grabbing some candy, by the way." Candy says hello.
Hi, Candy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about you and Will.
Jeez. And Mickey Stedelmeyer, good to see you. So yes, so I think well, there's Poon Ninja. Yeah, sure, everyone's jumping in as we're about to wrap up, but definitely, very awesome that you're back on. We'll have to do this again soon. Whether it's you or the whole Nerd Halen crew, we'll definitely do this again. And with short notice, I think I'd message you today or yesterday.
Yeah. No, but we were gonna do something for a while, we were talking.
Yeah.
About, so
that's true. And then I went to Nashville, so that kind of threw things off. And then with Hangouts going away, I was like, I got to get a new computer, which I did. So here we are. So
here we are.
Stuff. So definitely kick some tail tomorrow night. I'll be rooting for you as usual. And of course, for the Canadian tour, I do volunteer my guitar tech duties.
Dude, that would be so much fun. I can't even imagine. You know how many times I've teched for all my friends, and no one's ever teched for me. I've never been in a situation where I've needed one, and we're kind of approaching those waters now. So it's very strange for me to even think about someone handing me my guitar and everything's ready for me, because that was my job for everybody else.
Right.
all my friends, and even at a gig that I would just be going to watch them, I'd always end up helping in some regard with whatever the sound or a cymbal stand fell over, or just something like that. So I was always that guy. But
yep. Hey, my sister says she wants to be a roadie for Nerd Halen. Oh, she could be the merch girl.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sounds good. Yeah.
It needs a gig in Ohio. Yeah, it's all part of the global domination, Brian. So there we go. So everyone, please tune back in 23 hours from now, right back here for Canucks with Guitars, the big weekly show, which, Will, I did not forget the sponsors, because the sponsors do actually sponsor tomorrow night's show, but we will still shout out Lawrence Petross Design, FU Tone, Tesi Switch, because both of them work with Caleb as well. Geez Louise. Reno Fin Custom Guitars, Flipside Music, and Ardens Music. There we go. So yeah, everyone check out Nerd Halen. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel where Caleb does post stuff from their gigs, links right down below. So definitely subscribe to that.
Please. Yes.
And if you're new, please subscribe here as well. And as always, folks, hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Hello and goodbye to the Tone King. And yeah, karma is real, folks. Have a great night and live the dream. Cheers.
Thanks, everybody.